Hello friends, welcome to Hybrid Academy and to another session of Learn Adobe Photoshop for Beginners. In today's session, which is part 2 of Advanced Photoshop Technique, we will learn some more techniques which will make your work easier and will definitely make it more professional. So in this session, we will learn how we can use the batch option in Photoshop to automate the actions which we learned in the previous session. In this, we will also learn how we can export each of the layers in our document as separate files. So let's go ahead and quickly start our session. So the first part of our session is how to automate actions via batch. So just to brief you, we have an option of batch available in Photoshop, using which we can actually automate all the actions which we learned in the previous session. So first we create the actions and then we automate them as per our own choice to be applied on multiple files or set of files so that all those actions are applied on all the files one by one. So Adobe Photoshop actions save time by automatically performing repetitive tasks. Not many people realize that actions aren't limited to a single image and that there is a feature in Photoshop called batch that enables you to apply actions to as many images as you like that may already be open or contained within a folder on your computer. Actions especially become useful for batch processing when we need to apply the same steps to a set of images at one go. For example, we record a resizing action and then use the batch option to automate the command to resize multiple images at once. Or suppose you wish to apply a watermark logo on hundreds of photos, so doing so becomes so easy with the option of File, Automate and Batch. Photoshop allows you record and save an action and then apply this to a batch of images. Now let's check how you can do this in Adobe Photoshop. But before doing this in Adobe Photoshop, we will create two folders for our use. One would be the batch source and one would be the output. You can name them anything as per your choice. Just to understand, I have renamed them as batch source and output. Now this batch source has few images which I have downloaded from pexels.com, and if you can see, the dimensions of these photos is too large. Each of these photos is above 5000 pixels. Now suppose I wish to create an action which resizes all these photos to 1000 pixels. So to do so, I'll create an action in Adobe Photoshop and I'll run the batch so that all these images are reduced in size to 1000 pixels at one go using that batch, and all those files will be saved in this output folder. So as of now you can see there is no file in this folder, whereas we have around 10 files in this with a total size of around 29 MB. So to do this, let me open any of these files in Adobe Photoshop and I'll right click on this file. I'll go to open with and I'll click on Adobe Photoshop. So this will open this file in Adobe Photoshop. Now once the file is open, I'll go to the Windows menu and I'll open Actions as we did in the previous session, and I'll create a new action by clicking on this plus sign. Let me rename this Resize to 1000 pixel and I'll click on Record. So once I click on Record, you see a new action is created with the name of Resize to 1000 pixel. And the red button turns on, which means that recording is on. Now I'll go to the image, I'll click on image size and I'll resize this image to 1000 pixel. So I'll set the width to 1000, I'll click on OK, and once this is done you will see that the image has been resized to 1000 pixel and a new action has been created, image size. Now the next step we'll perform is we'll save this picture not in the original folder but in the output folder. So we'll click on Save As. We'll select the output folder We'll leave the file name as it is. We'll change the extension to JPG and we'll click on Save. Now remember, Photoshop asks you for the quality before saving the file. So we will set this quality to highest, that is 12, and we'll click on OK. Now if you expand this save, you'll see that it has already saved the function as JPG, quality is 12, and it shows the complete path where the file has to be saved. We'll stop this action, we'll close the action window, and we'll close this file. Now we'll run this on the complete set of batch, but before doing this, let us delete it from the outputs folder, the file which we saved. So now this file is deleted and you can see the output folder is totally empty. Now we'll go to File, we'll click on Automate, we'll click on Batch. The first thing it will ask is the set. So we did not create any set, so we'll select the default actions, and under the action, we'll select the action which you created, that is resize to 1000 pixels. Once this is selected, we'll select the source folder, we'll click on Choose, and we'll select the source folder as the batch source. This was the first folder where we have all the images. We'll select this folder and we'll click on Select Folder. Leave all these options as it is. This is the errors log file. In case if there is an error, that will be saved on desktop under the error.txt file. On the right hand side, we will select the destination folder. Again, we'll select the folder, click on Choose, and this time we'll select the output folder as the destination folder, so that all our files are saved in this particular folder. Below that, there is a checkbox which says override the action save as command. Now this actually overrides that dialog box where it is asking for the quality as 12, and then we click on OK. So just to automate that process, we'll check this, and it automatically saves your file with the same document name which we have for the original source file. You can even change it as per your own choice. You can even add a serial number to the file names. You can mention your own name here, and then you can add a serial number to that. And you can even update the extension by typing the extension over here and selecting the extension as you want. So this is totally customizable as per your choice. But as of now, I'm leaving it default, so the document name will remain the same, and the extension will be changed to JPG because that's what we saved there. Once this is done, I'll click on OK. So now if you see, it will open all the images one by one, and it will resize it and save it in the output folder. Let's check the output folder in the meanwhile. Just see, every time a new file is being created, and the size or the dimension of this file is 1000 pixel width. So this is how the batch in Adobe Photoshop automates your process. And now if you look at the size of all these images, it's hardly 7.29 MB, whereas the original images which we had a size of 29 MB. So you can see we have saved almost 22 MB in this, and the size is automatically reduced. Doing this one by one on each and every image is quite tiresome, and doing it with batch automates this and makes it pretty easy, and it even looks professional. So once you have created an action, you can always use it again and again on n number of pictures, n number of photographs every time as you want. Moving further, let's see how to export layers to files. Now, usually when we work in Photoshop, and suppose you have to work on multiple pictures, so every time a new picture is inserted in the document, a new layer is created. And suppose by the end, you end up with, let's say, 100 different layers, with each layer having a completed photograph or completed picture, and you wish to export each and every layer to a different photo or a different file. So to do that, we have an automated process in Photoshop that is known as export layers to files. So there are many reasons for needing to export your layers to individual files in Photoshop. Unfortunately, the regular way of exporting a file from the program only merges your layers into a single document. To export all your layers to individual files, you need to use a different export process. To export layers to individual files in Photoshop, go to File, Export, and select Layers to Files. In the dialog box that appears, to set the file types to JPG or PNG, and then choose the export destination. Lastly, just click on the Run to export all the layers to individual files on your computer. Let's see this in Photoshop. So in Adobe Photoshop, I have placed all the files which were there in the batch source folder in different layers. So if you see, we have 10 different layers in this document, and each layer has a different photograph or a different image. So suppose if I wish to export all these images to a particular folder, or I wish to export all these layers separately to different files. So to do so, we have an option in File, Export, and Export Layers to Files. Now once we click on this, it gives us a dialog box in which the first thing it asks is the destination, that where you wish to export these files. So we can browse the destination. So instead of batch source, we will take the destination as output. Now this is the same folder in which we saved the files of 1000 pixels previously. So I've cleared this folder and I will select this for the output, and I'll click on OK. So the destination is set. Now it is asked for the file name prefix. So suppose you wish to add something. Let's say I say pixels -files -. So this will be the first part of all the pictures which will be exported. Then gives an option of visible layers only. So if I select this option, it will only export the last 6 layers, because you can see only these layers are visible. This has the visible icon enabled. So only these 6 layers will be exported. And if I uncheck this, it will by default export all the layers separately. So it's your choice. If you wish to export selective layers only, you can only select them and you can select this option. So it will export only those layers. And if I uncheck this, it will automatically export all the layers. Then the next option is file types. From here, you can set the exported file type. You want to put it as BMP, JPEG, PDF, PSD, TAGA, TIFF, PNG8 and PNG24. So it gives you all these options. I'll select JPEG. This is the ICC profile if you wish to include that. So this will include the picture information or the source information of this picture along with each and every file. And the last option is the JPG option, where you can set the quality from 0 to 12. So 0 is the lowest quality of picture and 12 is the highest quality of picture. Usually we keep it around 9 or 10. And if you wish to keep it very high quality, you can keep it 12. Once this is done, just click on Run and see. This will automatically export every file separately to the output folder. See, the files are getting exported, and the prefix of each file is pixels files, which we set initially. Pixels -. Export layers to files was successful, and you can see all the 10 files got exported. And because the canvas size was same, so the size of all these pictures is same. Earlier, if you look at the batch source, the size is different for each and every image. This is 7000, 5000, 5000, 4000, 2500, 2200. For this, the size of all these files is same, and they are all of same size. So this way we have exported all the layers individually to different files. Now let's quickly summarize our session. So in this session, we learned how to automate actions via batch. We executed our actions in a batch on multiple set of files. And we also learned how to export layers to files, where we exported different layers of our Photoshop document into different individual files. So this was the second part of advanced Photoshop techniques. In the next session, we will learn how to create GIF images, or we can say how to animate in Photoshop. So we will learn to create animated GIF images, which can be later used as per your requirement. Thank you for joining the complete session. Hope you like the content. Please share and subscribe our channel so that your friends also get benefited with the information, acquire free knowledge and learn new things. We are eagerly looking forward to your support. Thanks, take care and stay safe. Hope to see you in the next session.